a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
And welcome to the show. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Always helping you in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. Also, as the show, as you know, we have 80 different categories, consumer advocates, top local professionals here in Tampa Bay. So that's what makes our show different. We want to engage. We want to enlighten and entertain. But most importantly, we'd love to engage with you and contact us, 727-263-3707. You can call or text that show hotline. It's an off-air number, 727-263-3707. Call or text online at consumerqb.com. We got Ray Hall Appraisals in studio with us. We're going to talk about what does the appraiser do, what's some of the reasons why you may want to have an appraisal done. Also, Dr. Doug Arvanitis back in studio with us as well. Pro Health in studio with us, chiropractor, local area doctor here on the show. Coming up in just a minute. Before we do, we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air. It's part of our strategy that helps us sell faster for more money. One of the highest list price to sell price ratios in all of Tampa Bay. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, $3 million listing. Compliments of Aaron Foley on the Platinum MVP team. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot, single family home on the beach. Exclusive Bel Air Beach location. Gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 linear feet of water frontage. You have historic Howard Drive that boasts one of the highest elevations, land elevations in the area. Also, your 1 block to beach access. Check out 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, Florida. Compliments of the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Archer Place. We've got a property, 3101 Old Archer Road in Gainesville. This is our pre-construction luxury condos that we've been talking about. We have 90 pre-construction luxury condos, 400s up to the 900s, short-term rental approved, EB-5 visa approved, and you also are 1 mile from the University of Florida, 5 minutes to Shands Medical, Butler Plaza, luxury high-end amenities, resort-style temperature-controlled pool, cabanas, grills, gourmet chef kitchen. Great opportunity here at Old Archer Road in Gainesville. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we got Ray Hall in the house. Ray Hall Appraisals. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me back, Brandon. Always great to be here.
Absolutely, man. My pleasure. Good to see you again. And
good to see you.
Yeah, things are going pretty well out there. I see. I know you're super busy. You got a great staff. I'll coordinate with your team sometimes, but yep. Let's start off with just an overview of the market. How do you see it? What do you see happening? And further, I think the talks of a rate reduction coming up is going to be helping us.
I think we're all hoping for that rate reduction.
Yeah.
Especially those of us in the appraisal business. We've stayed busy. I've been fortunate. That I always pay a lot of attention to my business expanding, things like that. But I know there's a lot of appraisers out there who, they've been losing a lot of business because rates went up and just the refis aren't there and purchasing is down a little bit. It's not, horrible, but, those refis are half of what our business is.
Right.
So that really did impact some appraisers. So, we're hoping the rates are going to come down and get that part of the lending business back to where it was or, back to normal levels. So that really did greatly impact us. And, all signs are pointing to a reduction. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And that helps with home prices too. A lot of people right now can't afford to get a home because those rates are too high. Mm-hmm. That greatly affects your payment, and it's a shame. And I don't know if really that was the right route for them to take, but hey, we're here, and let's hope we start seeing some improvements.
Oh yeah, mismanagement by the Fed is definitely in the government in general just a very pernicious thing because it leads from one thing to the other.
Absolutely,
and the trickle down economics, is a real thing, and that happens. So yeah, we've seen that, man. We've seen that, and it was an interesting when you look at the way when you have an economy or a market, rather, the real estate market, for example, that shifts. You have these shifts that are normal. It's pretty standard to see change. It can't stay the same. But when you see a gangbusters market like we had 18, 20 months ago, and then you see it kind of slow down like it's been doing over the last 3 to 6 months,
right?
You do see certain professionals exiting the profession, going back to being, hairstylist or personal trainer, whatever they were doing prior to And that's not a knock on them. It's just a true economics. And the ones that are in the game still, that are excelling, that are growing their market share, are the winners and losers, right? It's going to be a definition there of the winners and losers.
That's exactly right. So even in my own business, so since we do have a good client base and we're actually expanding into other states, I've always done commercial appraisals over 9 states. Residential, I'm primarily Tampa Bay. I do go out for commercial. I'm actually going to be opening up residential offices in those other states where I can have a certified person, boots on the ground in that area, taking care of the residential, and then they can also assist me with commercial inspections, things like that. Nice. So I'm kind of using it as a growth opportunity to not only help myself and my business, but give some of these other appraisers an opportunity to get some work in, because I know some of them are struggling.
Yeah.
Some of them are struggling just getting 10 appraisal orders in a week.
Yep.
And that's a difficult place to be in. So I've always felt the best way to help yourself is to help other people, and then everybody wins. So that's what we're kind of looking to do, and I'm kind of excited about the growth and looking into those opportunities. And one of my favorite things about having a business is running the business. The business part's my favorite part.
Yeah.
It's something new every day, as you well know.
Scaling.
Absolutely.
Trying to scale the business, trying to grow right, not to grow too fast. But whenever you're growing, and a big part of that is getting systems in place.
Yes,
it really is having the right systems. We've come across a really cool connection lately where we're looking at really just identifying, because technology here, when you think about technology, especially now that you throw artificial intelligence in there and all these different tools and systems and websites, it gets confusing, right? So we've engaged this company where it's going to come in, and they're basically they go in and they say, what's the best in-class solution for text message marketing, email marketing, your funnel, so it's a system where they come in and they say, hey, look, these are the tech experts. They say this is the best in class, but it's also the most affordable for what you get. I think those are key functions of any business now, to really identify and figure out, how can this technology help me move forward and provide a better customer experience for the customer.
Absolutely. If you don't embrace those technologies, you're going to fall behind. You're not going to be able to provide the service to your customers that everybody else can.
Right.
Even AI, I know a lot of appraisers are so hesitant, so that's going to replace me. No, it's not going to replace you.
Right.
AI can't show up to a house and see condition and see the problems. But what AI can help you with is, hey, when I do a commercial report, my neighborhood analysis is 3 pages long. I can give 5 documents to an AI and say, analyze this and give me 3,000 words. And then I can read through it and make the corrections and things of that nature. So I can provide the same service at a faster pace,
right?
Which I deal with a lot of investors. They need this done quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm able to do this on a much quicker basis and get those reports out to them when they're needed.
Right.
I'm working with some investors right now on some multifamily properties. And, we didn't really need to go into, the AI with that. But having those systems, like you said, is so important. And just having the technology in place to work more efficiently, I guess, is how I should word it.
Yeah.
So that's really important. And a lot of the business people I know who don't embrace that change and those new systems, they fail.
Right.
They fail, and they end up working for the people who did.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Yeah, it's true. It's part of the business, and that's a free market system. That's how the market should be, right? It should be free market, level playing field, access. At the same time, you're going to have people that succeed. They work harder. They're better in a certain sense. We're talking with Ray Hall Appraisals here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rimes, and we're talking about the real estate market here in Tampa Bay primarily is what we focus on with Ray and Ray Hall Appraisals. Ray, it's interesting, too. Over the years, we've talked about residential appraisals, commercial appraisals, vacant land, orange groves. I mean, you've done all kinds of appraisals.
I always say to someone, if there's a property type out there, I probably appraised it. There's very few I haven't, and I'm at a part in my career. I'm not looking to get into it. But, industrial. In fact, I just did some industrial properties. I do a lot of, industrial in states like Kentucky, Tennessee. We just started doing business in New York. I do a lot of multifamily things like that in Pennsylvania. So, now not only is it I've done a lot of property types, but I'm doing it in a lot of places. I've had lenders send me out to places in Louisiana I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And I did some multifamilies out there.
The Bayou.
The Bayou, literally, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've been fortunate enough to just have a very vast experience, and it's been fun. It's really been, I'm always glad that I got into this profession, and it's really been a great time for me.
Good. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it when I hear people that love what they do. They put all into it, and I just like to talk about business. A lot of times when I'm taking phone calls over the weekend or whenever, people calling in on our sign calls or maybe Zillow lead or whatever it might be, I always like to have those questions. What line of work are you in? What kind of business do you have? And it's interesting. It's really interesting to see the responses. You talk to all kinds of different people and you think, wow, there's another niche business that I didn't really consider, but it's there.
Yeah. You know what always gets me is when I talk to people and they're always waiting for that retirement to say, yeah, I don't want to work anymore. And I always look at it and say, I'll slow down. I don't see myself ever stopping.
Right.
Why do I want to stop?
Yeah.
And do nothing all day?
Yeah, exactly.
This keeps me out. This keeps me moving. I see something new every day.
Yeah.
I don't foresee that whole thing for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe doing some more traveling and flying, of course. But
some travel, some fly, a little bit of golf, maybe some boating.
Yeah, if I can get Will Smith to take me up on some of those planes he's got, that'd be a great time.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, I like that idea. Is look, are you really going to retire? Are you really going to? You're just going to slow down a little bit, maybe delegate more, things like that. Still kind of be the chief appraiser in your sense. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, double check everything. Check the other folks' work. And yeah. So for our listeners out there, what's some of the biggest misnomers that they have when they're getting an appraisal done? What's some of the biggest things that you come across?
The biggest thing, and this came up recently, was they look at their house on a price per square foot basis.
Right.
And figure that's the value.
Yeah.
I recently had someone, he was selling his manufactured home. He had sold the home next door for $250 a square foot and assumed his house next door, which was much bigger, should be selling for $250 a square foot. As you know, as a realtor, you use the price per square foot, and it's a great starting point.
Right.
But you guys know how to kind of work that number. You know to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, and you can work it to your favor. When we go out there as an appraiser, we do not use price per square foot. We have to adjust in our adjustment grid that you see on your report. There's about, I'd say 15, 20 items that we're adjusting for, and we just can't do that on a price per square foot basis.
Right.
So you have to remember when you're using that price per square foot, it's not going to transfer over to a house that's much bigger, much smaller, in better condition, and things like that.
Corner lot,
bigger lot, view,
conservation view,
conservation,
view.
A pool. All these little additions are going to really impact that price per square foot.
Yep.
So this gentleman probably was not happy that it wasn't the same, but as the appraiser, I have my rules I have to go by.
Right.
And there's a rule, and I have to do what my peers would do. So I can't do something that no other appraiser would do to come up with a value.
Right.
There's so many regulations behind how we come to our opinion of value that we do have to follow.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest one I come by. I also have it where people may have a house with an additional unit. They might have that little apartment out back.
Yep.
And when they go to list it, or they think their house, the size of their house is that main house plus the area of that little apartment. Unfortunately, in valuation terms, we can't consider that. That's actually a separate item and has to be considered separately.
The additional unit does?
The additional unit. So we have to find other comparables with the additional unit and treat that extra space how we would, say, a swimming pool or solar panels or something like that. It's an additional feature. It's not an addition to the house. So that's another popular kind of misconception that I come across that often leads to problems.
And that's a big thing right now, too, that ADU, the additional unit, the additional dwelling, that's a big thing right now, too. A lot of people are looking for the opportunity or the availability to have a mother-in-law suite, something like that. Family compounds are huge right now. We're going to take a quick break here. Ray Hall Appraisals in studio with us. Coming up, more with Ray. Also, our feel-good story of the day. 38,000 fans get free CPR training while attending the Euro Championship. Feel good story coming up here on the program, as well as more with our guest in studio here, Ray Hall Appraisals on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rimes 1 at CQB Show. And please subscribe to the YouTube and Rumble channels. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rimes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Lindsay Rimes here with Archer Place in Gainesville, Florida. Our luxury condo community is located only 1.5 miles from the University of Florida, 5 minutes to Shands Medical and Butler Plaza. Our buyers love the high-end luxury amenities in their building, including a state-of-the-art fitness facility equipped with Pelotons, the resort-style temperature-controlled pool accompanied with cabanas and grills, and the gourmet chef's kitchen in our clubhouse that overlooks the pool. We have pre-construction pricing only for a limited time, with floor plans ranging from a 1-bedroom, 1-bath to 2-floor penthouses with plunge pools. Starting in the low 400,000s to the high 900s, investors, parents sending their young adults off to school, medical professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs alike are investing in these residences. Reach out to us today at 727-263-3707 to get more information.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, Brandon Rimes here, back in studio. We got Ray Hall Appraisals with us. We're talking the real estate market, things happening in Tampa Bay real estate as well. Coming up as well, Fed ready to cut the minutes show. So the vast majority of Federal Reserve officials agreed weeks ago that they would probably cut interest rates in September. So we'll see, how that translates out into the buying side of real estate. So we'll talk more about that here in just a moment. Before we do, a quick shout out to our friends over at Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company right here in Tampa Bay. Heights Soft Wash. You can check him out online. I know Ramin. I've known him for years. He does a great job. He's the owner. HeightsSoftWash.com. Make sure you let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, a couple of hot listings here. 12377 Seagate Street. This one's in Spring Hill. The further north you go in our listening audience, the better bang for your buck you're going to get. This one in Spring Hill is very affordable on Seagate Street. What we have is 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage, 1,608 square foot, single family home. You've got natural lighting, a beautiful pool here, screened-in pool, your own private backyard here. Kitchen has stainless steel, black stainless steel appliances, double built-in ovens, bay window. Recent upgrades as well. New roof, drain filled. So curb appeal here at this home, 12377 Seagate Street, Spring Hill, Florida. Another one of our beautiful listings here. 15 minutes to a public boat ramp as well, with access to the Gulf of Mexico. In-ground pool, beautiful property here. Compliments of Jamie on our team. Got a property at 17441 Dansville Drive, Spring Hill. Again, another one in Pasco County, Spring Hill, Florida. You get a good value here. Got a pool, screened-in pool there. This is 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 4 carports on a corner lot. You got a manufactured home on an acre of land. It's Zone AR. Dansville Drive, Spring Hill, Florida. New septic, new drain field replaced in 2022. In-ground pool with a screened enclosure. You got a pool cabana. Great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Ray Hall Appraisals on the program today. Forgot to mention also on this show, we've got our next gratitude party coming up over at the Tarpon Turtle. It's going to be on the 27th. Save the date, Friday the 27th. Now, normally it's the third Thursday. We've had a scheduling conflict. So save the date, Friday the 27th, 6 o'clock. We're going to have boat rides going on there. We're going to have food, drinks, appetizers, excellent food, some great networking with a boat ride on Lake Tarpon. Friday, September 27th, 6 o'clock. Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Team, Happy Hour, and Gratitude Party. Hope to see you there. All of our listening audience is invited as well. All of our networking partners also. All right, Ray Hall with Ray Hall Appraisals, talking about the market and some of the common misconceptions, some of the common misnomers that you come across as well in appraising.
Like we said, people kind of price their house on their own, adding in that square footage that doesn't belong. A lot of times also people mistakenly think that if you can put a bed in a room, it's a bedroom.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
And that's a good one. And it's not the case. Now, a lot of people do realize that you have to have a closet.
Okay, closet.
It cannot be but what a lot of people don't know is you have to have an additional entrance or exit to that room. In other words, a window or some way to get outside in case of an emergency.
To the exterior.
Yes. So I've been in homes where they've kind of, and I hate appraising these homes, where they've kind of pieced it together and made all sorts of stuff, and they have like 4 bedrooms on an interior wall, and they want them to call them bedrooms, and I have to tell them it's all dens.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't be a bedroom without that window or another door to get outside.
Yeah.
And the people with the bedrooms, I tell them, if you want this to be a bedroom, just put a closet. It doesn't have to be a huge closet. It's not a big expense. It doesn't take much to do it.
Yep.
But it could give you that, a little bit of an additional selling point to have that extra bedroom.
Can it be one of the, basically like a clothing rack that's kind of rolled into the room, or does it have to be drywalled in?
I've had that argument with people.
Yeah.
I feel no.
Right.
Because if I can just remove a couple screws and take it with me.
Right.
To me, that's personal property.
Okay.
Anything I've always told people, if you can pick it up and take it with you, it doesn't count towards your appraisal.
Right.
Above ground pools. I've gone into houses where people spend a lot of money on an above ground pool. At the end of the day, you can take that above ground pool apart. You can fold it up, put it in your truck, and drive off with it. So we can't give any value to that above ground pool. And it doesn't matter how much you spend on it.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will also say, but I'm not going to take it with me.
Right.
Well, I can sit there and go, oh, well, okay then.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what you're going to do. It matters if I'm allowed to.
What could be done.
By the standards that I have to go by.
Yeah.
So that's always a good way to look at it. If you can put it in your truck and drive off, it's not part of the value of your house.
Another big one also, Ray, in our short period of time, is that you have that back lanai. It doesn't have the same exterior structure. It's not stucco. It's not block. It's just like the lighter material, the metallic metal material.
Right, yeah, and that's just a porch. But I have seen people that have enclosed porches, and they want to know, well, if I get the AC vent put in here, my recommendation is look into a mini split unit. A mini split unit is installed into the structure.
Yep.
It is now a fixture of that house, and if you're air conditioning that area, that is an enclosed area and is of similar construction type to the rest of the house, you've now made that living area, and you can add that in your GLA.
And that's the key. The county's got to agree with you, though, right? The county's got to agree that that's similar, because if it's stucco and then you have like the cheap metal exterior, they may not include it.
Correct. That's right. And that's why I say it's got to be similar construction type as the rest of the house.
Ray Hall Appraisals, how do you want people to connect, man?
You can go to rayhallappraisals.com or 813-452-5369.
All right, rayhallappraisals.com. He's got his owner's use appraisal as well. If you want to get your own owner's use appraisal, Ray will hook you up. It's normally less than a full-blown appraisal. Ray Hall Appraisals, thanks for coming in, man.
Oh, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. All right, coming up, Dr. Doug Arvanitis, Pro Health, in the studio with us, as well as our feel-good story of the day. 38,000 fans get free CPR training while attending the Euro Championships, coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Dr. Doug Arvanitis in studio with us, Pro Health, longtime friend of the show. Coming up here, we're going to talk with Dr. Doug about spinal decompression and some other strategies that he employs with many athletes, treated lots of professional athletes. So we're going to talk with Dr. Doug here in just a moment. Quick shout out to our friends at Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friend of the show. Say hello to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions. Boost your immunity, you get the vitamin infusions into your bloodstream, something like the Myers cocktail, different types of vitamins going into your body. ReplenishIVSolutions.com. You can find them online at ReplenishIVSolutions.com. All right, as you know, my wife Lindsay and I own a top team here in Tampa Bay. We love to feature our listings on air, and here's a great one here at 9205 Southwest 152nd Place in Dunellen, Florida, up in our Ocala area here as well. Horse country, more rural property here for you. 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2 carport. You have 2150 square foot single family home. You've got an interesting parcel of land here, over an acre of land, 1 1/4 acre. You have a unique property here as well. You got 75-gallon lighted aquarium in the living room. You have a basement here. Not many houses in Florida have a basement. This one does. Horse stable, reserve well tanks as well. And your close proximity to Rainbow River in the historic downtown Dunellen area. Check out 9205 Southwest 152nd Place, Dunellen, Florida. Great opportunity from the Platinum MVP team. 0 Rustling Wind Road. Rustling Wind Road in Brooksville, Florida. A lot of times when you're listing vacant land, it's going to come up as 0. It's not going to have a number yet because it's still not developed. It's not assigned that parcel, that address. Rustling Wind Road, Brooksville. We've got 4.5 acres of vacant land here. No HOA or CDD. Just a stone's throw away from a myriad of modern amenities. Easy access to the Suncoast Parkway and other main roads. Rustling Wind Road, Brooksville, Florida. We've got over 100 listings, vacant land, commercial properties, and, of course, residential homes for sale here in Tampa Bay. You can see all of our inventory, all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
7-foot by 11-foot basement.
Got a basement there in Florida. I had one out in Riverview one time, out in East, maybe Valrico area. It was surprising because he called it kind of like his... what do you call it, like escape room or whatever? Because it's like a little room that goes down. Most people wouldn't know it's there.
Panic room.
Yeah, a little panic room, yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio, and we had a 2,000 square foot basement.
Yeah, I miss basements.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't see them in Florida as much with our water table here. But Dr. Doug Arvanitis, welcome back into the program, sir.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Yeah, man. Pro Health. Tell us a little bit more about Pro Health.
Pro Health, we are a full-service chiropractic, massage therapy, physical therapy. We do spinal decompression. We have class 4 lasers. We have a hormone replacement clinic in there. We do a little aesthetics. We do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Talk to me about spinal decompression because I'm hearing more and more about that.
Right. Spinal decompression isn't new. It's been around for quite some time. We've been doing it since 2016. And in the past, if you've had bulging discs or herniated discs, you either have to live with it or you have to get injections or you have to do surgery. And with the spinal decompression, what we're doing is we're creating a negative pressure inside the disc. And it's kind of like a vacuum. And then we're sucking that disc back in, and we're letting it heal over, and it's reducing those bulging and herniated discs. So about 90% effective if you put the right candidates on there. In our office, since we do put the right candidates on, we're probably around 96, 97% effective.
Wow. That's awesome, man. And you do a lot of work with some of the different athletes over the years. You've done some of the professional athletes in Tampa Bay. So you're highly respected right here in Tampa. Location at 502 South Del Mabry Highway. So great location, centrally located. Can you say some of the athletes that you've worked with over the years?
Oh yeah, I can. But I'll tell you a really funny story. Well, not a funny story, but a good story about the spinal decompression with one of our NFL guys.
Yeah.
So he was here training because there's a lot of training facilities here down in Tampa in the off season, and he herniated a disc really bad in his lower back, L5S1, and he basically crawled in my office and he says, "Look, I'm in my contract year. I've got 3 weeks before I have to report to camp, and I can't move." So we got him in the MRI really quick, found out where the herniated disc was. Now, the typical treatment plan for the decompression is 5 times a week for the first week, 5 times a week for the second week, 3 times a week for the next 2 weeks, then 2 times a week for the next 2 weeks, then 1 time a week for the next 4. So it's a 10-week program. He didn't have 10 weeks. So I told him the only way you're going to get this back is every day. I want you in here every day, twice a day.
Wow.
And he did it.
Nice.
And he went to camp, made the 53-man roster, and played another 3 years in the NFL.
Nice. I love that.
So we kind of hid that from everybody.
Yeah,
Nobody needed to know about it.
There you go. You're down low pro, right?
Right. But we have, we represent 22 or 23 different professional sports, and you name the athlete, they've been in our office. We had the former NFL Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year in our office yesterday, Darius Leonard.
Wow, okay.
Yep. And so, but he's been a long-time patient of ours. We took care of him during the combine and got him set ready to go, went through his whole first rookie year and everything.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, what do you think about the Bucks this year? I've seen some pictures coming up of different people going to the Bucks camp, and what do you think the prospects are?
I haven't really spent a lot of time with the Bucks because I'm too busy with my other athletes right now, and I'm not let's put it this way. I see some of the Bucks, the ones that the team, they don't want the team to know what's going on with them.
Yeah.
So they'll come in kind of through the back door.
Yeah.
But those guys are doing really well. I really haven't spent a lot of time with the rest of the team yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, man. It's fun.
I was getting ready for college football.
College football.
Yeah.
I like it, man. We're
You
going to
know,
be doing a lot
Ohio
of
State.
games. We're going to be doing a lot of the Florida games with our pre-construction condos in Gainesville.
That's right. You were telling me about
We're
that.
going to be networking, doing a lot of networking up there.
So, you were talking to me earlier about the NIL stuff. And,
Yeah.
Ohio State just cleaned up in the offseason with the transfer portal and the NIL deals and all that.
Did they really?
We cleaned up.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to this season. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, my buddy, I'm on a chain with some of my buddies, and they sent over a video of talking about the price or the net worth now of these athletes coming out of school or going into their college careers, and it's like $980,000, and it gets up to the millions when you get closer. It was the top 15, but these kids, man, there's getting money thrown at them at such an earlier, can they handle that?
Well, here's the thing. As I talk to these athletes, and what I'm finding out is in college, it's more fun. It's more, they still love the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you go from college to pro and now money's involved, now it becomes a business.
Yeah.
And they lose that love for the game and it's more about business. Now that's transferring now into college.
Yeah.
And it's now becoming a business in college instead of the love of the game. And now it's also going down into high school. I've heard a few little things down in high school.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's going to ruin the game.
It really is. That's what a lot of people say, man. You look at that, and you look at the fact that a 17-year-old kid, their brain's not fully formed. You look at all these different parts of this economy that we have here in not only sports but also some of the different areas with the contracts and the commitments that these kids are making. And I know there's been some lawsuits too. I think the Florida Gators were involved in a lawsuit relating to NIL.
They don't care as long as they can throw a football, baseball, or do whatever. They don't care. They don't care if they're developed or not. They just want that athlete.
Yeah, for the most part, I agree with that. All right, we're talking with Dr. Doug Arvanitis here, prohealthdoc.com. You can find him online, prohealthdoc.com. And yeah, when you think about the rehab process, a lot of times for an athlete or even your everyday businessman or woman, that are looking to just get relief. What do you see mostly in your office?
Well, we see a lot of neck and lower back, but this is all stuff it's been compounded over their entire life. Like I have people that come in and they just have this hot low back and they go, "What do you think happened?" I go, "Well, tell me about your life. You're 60 years old.
Yeah.
You've done this, all these different things. They jump out of airplanes. They were in the military. So there's a lot of trauma there, and it's compounded throughout their life. So now we have to figure out exactly what's going on and the best way to get them back. Now, if it's we had a volleyball player, 15-year-old female volleyball player, that dove for a ball, hurt her ribs. They took her to the urgent care, did x-rays, no fractures, nothing. And she was going to be in the national championship in a travel league, 15,000 teams, and they were playing on Sunday. Mother brought her into us, and I looked at everything. It's structure. She fell on her ribs. We put everything back the way it's supposed to be. She was doing cartwheels that night.
Wow. And
then they went to the nationals, and out of 15,000 teams, well, the top 100 were there, and they were top 8.
Wow.
Top 8.
Yeah.
So everyone's different, and you can't just go to any doctor and they're going to do cookie cutter on you. You have to look at all aspects of everything, and then that's the way to really treat them. And then you got to treat the psychological part of them, the mental side of them, and get their head right and get them back in the game.
Wow.
So we do that with all different sports: mixed martial arts, boxing, baseball, football, powerlifting, bodybuilding, lacrosse, soccer, you name the sport, we do it.
Yeah.
You name the athlete, they've been in our office.
Yeah, that's great, man. I like to see it. And I was there the other day getting an adjustment, and I saw a big bus outside, and this gentleman and his wife had 7 or 8 kids in there. That was interesting.
Yeah, that's a neat little family. So it's the husband and wife and 8 kids, all under the age of 10.
Wow.
So 10 years old to 2 months old.
Can you imagine that?
Well, it's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
It's a lot of little kids running around, but we have fun. We
Yeah.
have a lot of fun. I have the traction table that moves up and down, so if they're good, they get to ride on the traction table.
Yeah. That's great. So you can treat kids all the way up to seniors?
I started treating my kids when they were 1 day old. My youngest had a little difficulty breathing, so I went in there and adjusted him on the very first day.
Wow.
And then all the way up to I think my oldest patient was 92. Of course, you can adjust them. They're just little people.
Yeah,
No
just little
different.
people. They got a skeleton too.
They do. And that's the important thing. It's not about the muscles. It's not about other things. It's the structure. The structure is going to determine the function. So if you can get the structure taken care of, then the function will be there.
Yeah.
And that's why we're a little different. We don't just look at the point of pain. We care about it, but we know it's there, but we look at the entire structure and we try to balance that person. So we can balance them to where they're at in their life at that point. Then everything gets better, and things that we weren't expecting go away. We have people that come off their high blood pressure medication, their insulin, all these different things. We're not trying to do that, but it happens by balancing them. So, for example, now I'll never be able to be balanced back to where I was when I was playing college football at 20 years old, because I've had 4 knee surgeries and hip surgery and 2 shoulder surgeries, 11 screws in my shoulder. I'll never be able to get back to that. But we need to balance me for where I'm at right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I can still do the
sports. That's a lot of surgeries. I didn't realize you had that many.
I had those, yeah.
Man, was that all football related? Or?
Not all.
Oh,
a lot of them were paintball, as we were talking about earlier.
We were talking about that. That's right, paintballing. And
a little diving and sliding, 15 years of that in the big leagues.
Yeah, man, that's fun. That's a lot of fun, man, getting out there and shooting. Yeah, we had a good time. Alex and I, with Thomas King, went out to Razor Ranch. I think you might have been one that recommended that.
I'm the one who recommended that.
Yeah, we had a good time out there. That was fun.
Good.
Rode the buggies and saw a lot of deer, man. A lot of
deer, a lot of hog.
What were those axis deer from Texas?
I still have some great pictures on my phone from that.
Yeah, that was fun. So once it cools off, maybe we'll have to get back out there.
Yeah, I'm not a guy who likes to go out and shoot things. Now, people, if you're in my house, no problem.
There you go.
I'll load my magazine on you.
Yeah.
Or paintball or airsoft or anything like that. Or now I'm doing I've been doing the 3-gun and the pistol competitions. Not a problem.
Yeah.
I have a little, I've got a soft heart for the animals.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. Well, do you eat cheeseburgers?
Yes.
Got him.
Yeah, I didn't say I don't like to eat them. I don't want to be the one who kills them.
I hear you. All right, more with Dr. Doug Arvanitis coming up. We got to take a quick break here, and we got our feel-good story of the day. Also, 38,000 fans get free CPR training while attending the Euro Championship. Feel-good story of the day coming up. More with Dr. Doug Arvanitis here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, online at consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values. Patriotic, Christian, conservative companies. And you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month for the kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils, vitamins, herbs, those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. And I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also a business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. By simply shifting some of your buying habits, you're going to help support like-minded people, like-minded companies, and that can support you as well.
Lindsay Rhymes here. My husband Brandon and I own the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams, and our team of seasoned agents is ready to help you buy, sell, invest, and love the life you live here in Tampa Bay. Communication, execution, customer service, and bulletproofing transactions are really where our team shines. We service Hillsborough, Pinellas, Manatee, Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus counties, and we have seasoned agents in residential, luxury land, and commercial divisions. Reach out to us, your Christian realtors, and let us help empower you with the right knowledge to make smart decisions with your next transaction. Call us at 727-263-3707 today. Again, that number is 727-263-3707.
Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
Hey, we're back. Brandon Rimes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. Quick shout out to our friend Lee over at Lee's Royal Services. He does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. We highly recommend Lee and his team. Lee'sRoyalServices.com, Lee'sRoyalServices.com, home and office cleaning and handyman service, online at Lee'sRoyalServices.com. All right, hot listing for this segment is 14135 Cypress Circle. We got a property in Cypress Circle. This one's in Carrollwood. Beautiful property. Owner motivated here. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-carport, 1,308 square foot single family home. It's a villa style condo. Cypress Clusters at Carrollwood Village. Community pool. Beautiful interior here. Stainless steel appliances. Lighter colors on the property here as well. And a great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. 14135 Cypress Circle in Tampa. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, feel good story of the day. 38,000 fans get free CPR training while attending the Euro Championship to help save other fans in cardiac arrest. During the Euro Championship in Germany, 38,000 soccer fans received free CPR training as part of the Get Trained, Save Lives campaign, a collaboration between the Euro Championships and the European Resuscitation Council. This initiative aimed to raise awareness about sudden cardiac arrest and the importance of bystander CPR. The campaign was inspired by dramatic events at the 2020 European Championships, where Denmark's midfielder Christian Eriksen collapsed from cardiac arrest during a match. His teammate Simon Kjær performed life-saving CPR on the field, highlighting the critical importance of immediate intervention and spurring global awareness on the education of CPR. Alex, I wanted to have you pop in and talk a little bit about that with your background as a paramedic.
Yeah, so I taught CPR and ACLS and PHTLS, so pre-hospital trauma life support and stuff for a while when I was with the fire department and stuff. And I'd have to see the video on how that all works. It looks more to me like they did an education and like a demonstration of CPR, because true training on CPR, like you need those dummies that are there if you're watching our YouTube channel. So people have to get hands-on, and you have to make sure that you have the correct depth of compression and making sure you know how to do a proper head tilt, chin lift to get oxygen and stuff. But, I mean, it's cool to give them an overview, but it's highly unlikely that 38,000 dummies were handed out for people to start pressing. Right. And then you had enough people to, like, precept and walk around and make sure they were doing proper compressions.
Exactly.
So not to myth bust and, like, crap on this whole thing, but it looks more like a demonstration. But a lot of people, myself included, I'm a great visual learner. So you watch something like that, you learn some tips, and there's a higher likelihood that you could potentially save someone's life. So I love it. I'm all for it.
Yep. Doc, you ever have to pull out the CPR move, save somebody's life?
I have not, but I've been first on scene for some really bad accidents, including a gentleman who tried to take his life with a 9mm into the roof of his mouth.
Oh, boy.
That was not fun.
He tried, so he was unsuccessful?
He was unsuccessful.
You'd be surprised how many of those are unsuccessful.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Just the wrong angle or something.
Wrong angle, hit the hard palate, ricocheted back out, took all of his lower mandible off.
Yeah. I had a guy, the whole side of his face was blown out, and I was taking him to the hospital, and he was intoxicated, and that's basically what happened. He put the gun on himself, and he was intoxicated, and he went to go pull, and he slipped, and it basically blew the side of his face out. But so I have oxygen on him, but you can't get a proper seal because he's got this huge hole in the side of his face, right?
Right.
So we're just trying to get as much blow-by oxygen onto him as possible,
Yeah.
and he's literally looking at me and talking to me rah, 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 while we're riding the whole time.
Man.
So it's pretty nuts how many people try to do that and fail. I wish they didn't try at all, but
well, and their life was bad to begin with. Now it's going to be worse.
Now it's going to be worse, yeah.
They've caused more problems than they should have.
And it reminds me also of the case with Jason Coble, attorney Jason Coble, where he's our work comp attorney, and he's talked about the PTSD. Remember that? How that kind of changed some of the rules around PTSD being covered now for paramedics and first responders. Remember that?
Yeah, as I think it should be, because we see horrific things on a
agree.
regular
Absolutely.
basis.
Based upon
you're
what
first
I saw,
on scene to all of that.
Exactly. I've been first on scene some 5 really bad accidents. I agree.
Yeah,
it's terrible. I mean, that's real life to the fullest there.
Every single day.
It's almost like a military deal.
Every
right?
single day.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, it's a paramilitary.
Constantly...
It's paramilitary training that you take. So
yeah, it's tough, man. People, don't really I think a lot of times they underestimate those types of
what's
scenarios.
actually happening.
Yeah. All right, so there's our feel-good story / I don't know type of story of the day. But anyways, some people may have got trained. Maybe they save a life.
Hopefully.
We'll see. All right, we're talking with Dr. Doug Arvanitis here in studio, prohealthdoc.com online. Check out his Instagram as well. He's doing some really cool poses with some of the different athletes in there. I got to get on that Instagram channel, by the way, next time I come.
Come in, let's take some pictures.
Let's do it. We got to get on that. All right, so Dr. Doug, what are the final thoughts? What else you wanted to get into today?
Well, just the spinal decompression today, because there are so many people that come into our office that have gone to orthos, neuros, and they've been told they're either a candidate for surgery or injections, and they don't want to go that route. So the first thing you should do is always do the conservative route first. You can't go back after you've done the surgery, so do the conservative route first.
Yeah.
If you can find a conservative route that actually works or is effective, like ours, which is 96% effective rate, then you won't have to go to the injections or the surgery.
Yeah.
Okay. So the spinal decompression works. It's great.
Yeah.
And again, we're taking people that have been told they need surgery. Great story. One of my good friends, my very first client, I looked at his MRIs and I said, you are not a good candidate for this, but he didn't want to have the surgery. He was scheduled for L4, L5 fusion surgery, had no desire to do it. I said, well, based upon your MRIs, you're not a great candidate, but let's throw you on. By the end of the first week, he was doing phenomenal. He canceled his surgery. That was 2016.
Yeah.
He went through the whole protocol. He plays golf 3 times a week and still hasn't had surgery.
Yeah, it's terrible when people get into that position and it's surgery. Of course, the surgeon wants to cut, right? The baker wants to bake. So you got to really get those second opinions, man.
You do.
So
you got to get them from someone with enough experience to know. And the thing we were talking about earlier is a lot of chiropractors do spinal decompression.
Yeah.
You get a video with your table, and this is how you set the patient up, and this is how you should do it. Very few doctors are certified in this. There's 2 that I know of in St. Pete and 1 or 2 in Tampa, and we're certified, which means we went and we did extra hours. We met the designers, the doctors, the engineers, the software developers. We met everybody that was involved in how to make this decompression table.
Yeah.
And we got advanced training in exactly what to do if someone comes in and it's a little different than what was on the video. What do you do?
Yeah.
And that's why we have such a high success rate.
Yeah, I love it. Check them out online. prohealthdoc.com, Instagram prohealth_Dr. Doug. Also, go visit at the Dale Mabry location, 502 South Dale Mabry Highway, right here in Tampa Bay. Dr. Doug Arvanitis, thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Every time. We have a good time.
Always fun. I love it. All right, hey, another great show. We had Ray Hall Appraisals, of course, Dr. Doug Arvanitis, Alex BlackBelt Lima in studio with us. Thanks for supporting the program. Thank you so much for all the phone calls we get during the week. We greatly appreciate that. It really makes our day talking to our audience, talking and making those connections to our other expert contributors. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good for community. And don't forget about the next event coming up. You always are welcome to come out to our gratitude parties, our networking mixers coming up on the 27th, Friday the 27th for September. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes.